Welcome back to Chrono Trigger.
Excuse me, sorry.
Logic's still drunk.
Getting there.
Or
Definitely.
sobering. And we are here in the Ocean Palace, my least favorite dungeon in the game because it's boring. Goddamn boring.
It's the game's low point, I would say. Still enjoyable, but it's not as enjoyable as the rest of it.
It's more of the fact that we go through this dungeon technically twice. It's not really the same dungeon, but it may as well be.
Sort of. I know which one you're talking about, I think.
So it's like, oh well. So we're kind of chasing after Dalton because Dalton's a prick, and so is Zeal, but Dalton first.
I mean, he was the one who was keeping us from the Ocean Palace in the first place, and he decided to run into the Ocean Palace like a dumbass.
We also don't even know why. Like we just assume he's trying to stop us because he's working with Zeal. It's like we don't know anything at all about this guy other than he's an idiot.
And still no Luminaire. Damn it.
I'll use it eventually.
I want it now.
Would you stop saying that?
It's never gonna stop being true.
Well, none of these guys are weak against light, so I don't want to be wasting 15 MP for nothing.
20.
Or 30 MP. Well, it's probably like, no, it's more like 40 MP.
I think it's 20.
It costs a lot. It costs a lot.
Like, even if you have your MP maxed out at 99, it's still gonna cost you like a fifth of your MP.
Which is why I don't spend it unless I'm doing it for a boss. Or if there's enough enemies on screen to warrant it, like this shit.
Now can we do
this? Is the part of the dungeon I don't like. It's kind of like going through Magus's castle again,
Yes,
only
yes.
more tedious, if that's even possible.
It's my Luminaire and I want it now!
There's your Luminaire. There's your Genki Dama.
Nah, it's an explosion wave, but still it's pretty amazing. Look at that. Everything dies.
Chrono's pose was totally a Genki Dama charging pose. Or Spirit Bomb for people that don't like the Japanese term.
Hell, if I can even compare it to like Hunter cross Hunter, it's like that one thing Netero uses against like what was it, what was their names?
I don't know, you watch more Hunter x Hunter than I do.
Even then, haven't really watched much of it, but I do know of that fight. He literally uses his powers to turn into a nuclear bomb to destroy like the strongest enemy in the series.
So Chigoro.
Yeah, pretty much. I think. Oh right, they were Chimera ants.
I only say that because I know the guy that did Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, he did Yu Yu Hakusho.
Did Yu Yu Hakusho, so. Even though I've seen bits of Hunter x Hunter, like the character designs look so much different.
Yeah, but you could still see some Yu Yu Hakusho in there, especially in the main character
True.
Gon.
Just wearing a green jumpsuit doesn't make him Yusuke. Or a green tracksuit, I should say.
Actually, nah. If anyone looks anything close to Yusuke, it's like that one guy. I forgot his name. Like I said, I haven't watched a lot of Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. Anyway, these thrashers are annoying because every time you hit them, if there's at least two of them in the battle at once, they're going to counterattack with a dual tech multiple times, and it's just annoying.
Son of a bitch.
It hurts a lot, and it confuses you.
Hang on, I'm looking up the character.
Thankfully, he decided to whack Chrono on the head so he wasn't confused anymore.
Oh, right. And now I remember who it is, just because I looked up on TV tropes. It was, if anyone looks close to Yusuke, it's this one character, Leorio. He's like the doctor, essentially.
Ah.
He's like older than everyone else, and he's just like going through the Hunter exam to become a doctor.
Didn't that show get canceled, though?
No, it just goes on hiatus a lot. The manga does, at least.
Hasn't it been on hiatus for like 2 years?
No, like 7 years.
How is it that's not a hiatus anymore. That's canceled.
No. It like for the last 7 years, it's like, oh, it'll go on hiatus for like 9 or 10 months, come back for a month or two, and then it goes on hiatus for another 9 to 10 months.
That means it's on the verge of being canceled, and they're just trying to keep it alive for as long as possible.
You'd be surprised how so many people are into Cross Hunter, and they want that just to continue.
I believe it. I'm just saying it sounds like it's on death's door, and it's just barely being held alive by its fan base.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying that makes it bad. I'm just saying it's in a bad situation and probably is not going to survive much longer, unfortunately. Unless it's run on Adult Swim keeps it around.
Actually, no. Wait, it's been that hiatus on and offness has been going on for a while now. Like look on TV tropes. Like the first hiatus it went to, or like one of the hiatuses it went to, lasted for over a year.
Yeah, how did that not get canceled?
Hey, the fans want it back, and as long as it keeps getting like views. Or, like, as long as it's, like, the fans keep saying, yeah, we want more of this, they can't really outright say, nah, fuck it, it's canceled.
But if it's not making money...
It's making money. Like, I think the author releases enough chapters whenever it comes back from hiatus in order to release, like, a volume of them. And then he makes money off of those volumes as they sell.
Yeah, but then it has to compete with Dragon Ball Super, and then it's fucked.
But still, though, it's pretty very hiatus-y. But still, it's really complex, and it's like a lot more. It's pretty damn mature, despite how it begins. Actually,
by the way, Masa's here.
Yeah, I think we saw Mune earlier too.
And crap, it looks like we're running out of time because Zeal is actually going to wake up Lavos. Using the Mammon machine.
Eh.
And Shala. Poor Shala. Shala has it the worst out of anybody in this game.
And she just zaps him with energy. She's like, yeah, you better keep on going.
Bitch. Again, they're trying really hard to make Zeal be the main villain, but I just can't quite see it, honestly.
Well, I mean, she's a total bitch and pretty much causes what's going to be happening for the remainder of this game. But still, it is mostly Lavos still.
It feels like if they wanted to make her more of a threat, she should have been around longer. Like, we should have learned about her sooner than the first time we come here.
I mean, we could kind of see the effects of what she's been doing. I mean, we have seen Melchior... and, like, the three sages, like, as we've gone to this point. So it's implying that her effects have been there since pretty much the beginning.
True. I mean, it's not enough to make me dislike the game. I mean, she's a decent villain overall. It just feels like she should have been around sooner than she was.
Right.
She feels like she doesn't stay in the story long enough to feel relevant. Though, to be fair, the game spends most of its time saying Lavos is the villain here, so clearly you know it's not going to be her.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Lavos literally destroy the future. As well as crash into the planet, so we know he's the main threat.
That's just a matter of actually stopping him.
But first, elevator segment, because we can't have an RPG without an elevator segment.
All this is just like a sequence of forced battles, isn't it?
Yeah. Chrono Trigger likes to do that a lot.
Why do you guys keep going for Luca?
Because they don't want to get hit by fire too. Not that I blame them for not wanting to get hit by fire too.
Oh, so if it's not the element that they're weak to, they just outright absorb it.
Yeah, they absorb. They're strong against all elements but what their color is, and then they will spam their highest level of that elemental spell. Actually, if it was the highest level, it would have been Ice 2, and that would have been a bitch. If there were two Ice 2s in a row, I probably would be dead right now.
Yeesh. Oh, there it goes.
Ice 2 hurts a lot.
You managed to confuse it just before it dies anyway.
I'm just glad they keep giving me Lapis, because that's the best healing item in the game.
Right. And doesn't that heal like 200 to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
Only
helpful.
200 HP though, so
It's still pretty damn useful, especially
Elixirs are still...
after like you get hit by a bunch of attacks that keep attacking everybody.
Yeah. Elixirs are still the best because they fully heal HP and TP to the entire party.
Isn't there Mega Elixirs too?
Yeah, Mega Elixirs, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, it does it to everybody.
Elixir heals full HP and TP for MP for one character. Mega Elixir is the full party. Yay, lots of level ups. And Frog finally learned Cure 2. Thank God.
Nice.
You know, Marl's had that for like the past 3 dungeons now, Frog. That's my fault for not having you on my party for very long. This part's frustrating because this is just a constant stream of let's fight guys while we go down this elevator.
And then just show up, and then the editing makes it seem like, hey guys, what's going on? Okay, never mind.
Hey, what's going on in this? Oh, God.
But yeah, like I said, just a sequence of forced fights, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we don't need to see that.
Yeah, this game wants you to grind. Here's the big dick move. There is a magic tab. There's a tab you can get. You wanna know how you get it? You have to go back up the elevator and go back down again.
Son of a bitch.
And then it spawns in like the top left corner or something.
Unless you're trying to do this to be considered for 100% completion, no, not worth.
I mean, it's free experience too, by the way, but I'm not trying to go for every tab. You don't even need every tab in the game to max out everybody's stats. I thought I cut this out a little better. My bad. I think this is me double checking to make sure I didn't miss anything.
You're probably reading up about that magic tab. You're like, nope.
Yeah, I know there's a tab here somewhere. Maybe it's a different elevator, because there are 2 different elevators in this area that look exactly, and they both look exactly the same.
Right.
That room also makes me... There we go.
Oh god, no!
You have to leave and come back to be able to move up the elevator. There, I edited it out. You're welcome.
Actually, no, I think it's when you're going down when the enemies keep showing up.
Magic tab. There we go.
Or either that, or you just have to fight the enemies one time, and then it's like, okay, yeah, you can just go back down. Or I think you have to leave the room, come back, and then activate it.
That's when I realized, like, you have to leave the room and come back in order to reactivate the elevator. I don't know why. That seems really dumb, but...
Maybe they were just running out of memory or some shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, and it also drops Yuki off here. So guess what you have to do again? Gotta walk all the way back down again.
What the fuck?
Which means you have to fight all those ninjas again, because it's impossible to avoid them going down those stairs.
Damn ninjas.
You again. Actually, I don't think I showed this guy off. That's why I kept that in there.
It's weird. He just shows up. You would think he would try to help them in the fight. He's like, nah, you guys got this.
Fuck it. I mean, this is a good way for grinding, because then you just keep going back up and down. Thankfully, there's a save point right before the elevator, so I can use a goddamn shelter, because I'm going to need it.
Yep.
There we go. Because you could just spam Luminaire, and then you go from 79 MP to 3. But yeah, now that we're back here, I have to do all this again.
Please tell me you cut it all out.
Why wouldn't I?
Thank you. Please. Oh, we're watching it.
I wouldn't leave it in unless there was something I wanted to show off.
I see some slight slowdown. But then again, there's like 5 enemies and then you 3.
Yeah.
Bumma punch him.
It works.
It really does. Surprisingly well, actually. You wouldn't think a punch would be like doing 87 damage.
Oh well. Let's ice this bitch, and then lightning to the other 2, and then they should be dead.
Luminaire, 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 Luminaire. You're not gonna
No, they're lightning, you moron.
Luminaire's lightning. Technically. translation-wise?
No, it's light. Luminaire is the only light-based spell in the game.
It's technically lightning because like the game translates light as lightning for this one.
For some reason, I don't know why. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, like in the DS version, obviously they changed it back to light, so that means even like Lightning 1, Lightning 2, they're technically light.
It really doesn't matter. It's like, shit. I lost what I was trying to say there. It's like spelling... It's like how people sometimes spell boo as B-O-O or B-U-U. They both mean the same thing. There's your Luminaire again.
Beautiful.
Look at that lag with the frickin' PS1 version. Luminaire doesn't usually take that long to go off. There. And that Jin would have also been dead if not for the fact that he had, like, goddamn defense.
Yeah. I guess no matter what, you have to hit him at least 2 times.
No, you have to kill the other Vargas first. Otherwise, you can't destroy the shield.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, even if you do, like, a multi-hitting attack, like that one Vargas, it has to be destroyed, and then you have to hit the Jin in order for the barrier to technically don't go down afterwards.
And then I just decided, you know, I haven't shown off Luminaire enough, so I'm just going to keep these battles in and just show Luminaire because it just looks that awesome.
You can never have too much nuke. Beautiful.
Pretty much.
Sweet. I don't know.
You can only use it like 7 times before you have to reach it, before you have to fill up all your magic again. And it doesn't help when you have to deal with scouters that all have different elements that aren't light.
Fuck.
Except for the 2. That's why I decided, screw it, I'm not wasting my TP. MP, whatever. Doesn't really matter how you call it.
TP, NP, XP, something P, PP.
I just wish that Robo had elemental spells outside of Shadow.
Yeah, but then otherwise, why would you need that
technically
super secret other party member?
That we're not getting yet.
Exactly.
Shush.
Robo's just there to round out the fact that you don't have shadow magic otherwise.
We have to keep it in suspense for the 6 people that haven't played this game. Not counting Muiji because he doesn't care about spoilers.
Especially with a game this old, honestly.
I mean, if you haven't played Chrono Trigger by now, and you don't intend to, then you're not going to, and I'm not going to force you to play it. Just because I like it doesn't mean you have to play it.
Right. I mean, like, I've seen this one video on YouTube, or I think it was on YouTube or Facebook. It was like a video of, like, all these kids seeing, like, Star Wars Episode 5 for the first time. And they see that one scene where, like, well, spoilers for, like, the one person who hasn't seen it, but, like, Darth Vader says that he's
Everyone knows that line. Even people that haven't seen Star Wars knows that line.
Exactly, but still, that one person who somehow, some way, doesn't know.
There's a difference between knowing the line and never actually seeing where it originated from.
But
I know a lot of movie quotes from movies I've never actually seen because they're just that iconic.
Yeah, but pretty much like the video I was talking about, like it's a compilation of all these kids that see that iconic scene where Darth Vader says to Luke that he's his father, and then like them freaking out like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
I know what you mean.
Just goes to show you. So like you could still surprise some people.
True. And this is what I'm talking about, how this gets boring. We keep fighting the same groups of enemies over and over again.
Goddamn scouts.
Scouters everywhere. It's like, this is the point where the game's just like, if you're not, like, the game really wants you to keep the party of Chrono, Marl, and Luca.
Or just
just fuck everybody else.
Or they want really... I mean, they've been doing this ever since we got magic, but they really want you to rely on magic in order to progress quicker. You don't need it, but it does help speed things up.
And considering Luca's the only character in the game that gets fire magic, yeah.
Yeah.
Technically the only character in the game that gets fire magic, depending on how you decide to play the game.
Right.
That's really the only reason why Robo's attacks are considered shadow based, because other than that, there would be nobody to use that element.
Yeah.
They're like, why do you? It's like,
I mean, imagine if you fought...
element of shadow. Who uses shadow? A character that you fight that you never play as. So the fact that shadow element is a thing means absolutely goddamn nothing. It's kind of like, it's a lot like Tales of Symphonia, where they completely forgot to put darkness magic in.
Yeah, all they did was take some light spells, color them dark, and it's like, all right, that's the dark magic.
To rephrase that, they have dark magic. They just forgot to give it to Rain.
Yeah, not like,
the opposite side of her magic spells are supposed to, her T spells are supposed to be light, and her S spells are supposed to be dark. But they forgot to give her the darkness spells, the darkness variants. So the only character in the game that uses the darkness spells are Pronema and Shadow.
Yeah, and then even then you don't really get them unless you have Sheena use like those Zeal spells that let her use elemental attacks.
The point is, they have a bunch of characters, they have a bunch of bosses in the game that are weak to darkness, and nobody has dark spells. So having a weakness to dark means nothing.
Yeah.
unless you want to use black quartz.
Yeah, it's either use black quartz or have Sheena use Tethys-Seal, I think, Tethys-Seals.
Or you can attempt to summon Shadow if you're lucky enough.
Even then, once you have Shadow as the summon spirit, then you could just use Tethys-Seal, and then she can infuse Shadow element onto your weapons.
True. Yay, we finally got somewhere new.
My God, it's like we're actually progressing.
Because we already got to this point of the dungeon once before, and then they warped us out.
Yeah.
Now we can finally actually go further in. Oh God. We're almost done with this boring-ass place. I only say that because the first time I did this, I had to... I already took long enough, and then when I had to re-upload it, I had to split it into 5 or 6 goddamn parts because I only had 15 minutes. And dear God, does this dungeon take forever to do.
Hey, but now I'm assuming the next part we're probably going to actually do actual plot.
Yes, we are.
Thank God.
I know. I apologize. This is the slow dungeon. We're almost done with it, I promise.
Excuse me, I'm going to go drink beer and watch anime. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.